What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to SNS Sports. If you like what you're listening to, make sure and hit that like, share, and subscribe. Today, we will be hitting you with our upvotes and downvotes from Week 5, as well as our updated power rankings rolling into Week 6. What do you got as far as upvotes this week?
Man, first team I want to talk about is the New York Giants, man. Great win against a good team, man. Look, they look good out there, man. They went down obviously in London. It wasn't a home game, wasn't at Lambeau or anything like that, but they beat a good team. And I think it's time that we actually start having a discussion of like all the Giants actually good. They've stepping up to the plate. They all 4-on-1 ball club. I think they deserve all credit this week, man. Go win against a good Packers team over there, man. Secondly, the New England Patriots, right? I think all we heard, right, was how good this Detroit offense was. You know what I mean? They put up points against Philly. Like I even heard Philly fans, it was like, but our defense is good. It's in the third, but the Lions, they scoring everybody, or do they? You know what I mean? Like, complete shutout, man. They got down there in Foxborough, man. Belichick worked his magic, man. Complete shutdown, man. So New England Patriots. Hey, look, the backup quarterback. Hey, look, everything is flowing. Sometimes it's what
Third
happens.
string.
Maybe it's the spark. Third string, yeah. So maybe it's just the spark they needed, man. But they've been looking good. So yeah, shout out to them. Third, I want to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. Right, they beat Carolina so bad. They done fired their coach, man. They done put the whole team on the trade block. They about to go into a full rebuild. Man, that just lets you know how bad they got down there, man. This team looked good. You know what I mean? Jimmy G, sorry. Everything is trending in the right direction, man. I just think they'll consistently improve. Like you spoke on a previous episode about Trent Williams. They don't have everybody back. They still trying to figure this thing out, man. But that's a great team over there in San Fran, man. And they're definitely trending up for the rest of the year. Knicks, Buffalo Bills, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's crazy because that game was over before it even started, right? I think we all knew going into it, like, okay, like, what are the Steelers going to do with the Bills? But boy, did they put the beat down on them, man. Josh Allen, MVP for now, complete team. You know what I mean? It just, to be honest, like, if I talked about an AFC championship game to you and I said two teams, like, which two teams you expect to be there right now, right?
Oh, it's got to be the Chiefs and the Bills.
Chiefs and the Bills, bro. I want to see that repeat. I need another AFC championship game like we had last year, man. I just think we're going for a round two for real, man. Two great teams, but Buffalo Bills, man, definitely up there. Great win this week. And lastly, I just want to say the Dallas Cowboys once again. Listen, beat the defending champs, only throwing 16 times. That cannot be understated. And look, this team is for real, whether anybody want to believe it or not. But the main thing for me, man, is wait till that come back, man. Because right now they don't have to score. So just imagine a team like this putting up 25, putting up 30, or even anything remotely close to that. But right now, man, good team. They playing hard. And, I'm going to give them their credit, man. Shout out to them again this week.
Switching over to my upvotes for Week 5, I got the Tennessee Titans. They seem to have finally found their rhythm, running the ball, getting Henry going, but they're still 30th in passing yards allowed on defense. They got a lot to figure out on that side of the ball. Kansas City, Mahomes leads the league with 15 passing touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. So he's off to a phenomenal start, looking like a man on a mission. And as you said before, I think all roads lead to Buffalo and KC in the championship game. Who's going to have the home field advantage? We got to wait and find out. Cowboys, another upvote there. 5 touchdowns allowed on the season. I think that's 1 rushing and 4 passing, +5 in turnover differential, and second in sacks with 20. So doing a lot of things right over in Dallas. They get the upvote. Philadelphia is forcing teams to abandon the run early and often. They're second in the league in allowed rush attempts. They've only allowed 106, +9 in turnover differential as well. The Giants, I do think it's time, as you were saying, to start talking about them. The Giants are 4-1 with their lone loss to the Cowboys. And Wink Martindale looks phenomenal over there as their defensive coordinator. They're also 6th in time of possession, which is huge. So they are controlling the clock, surprisingly. And I think a lot of that has to do with Saquon, exactly. Switching over to my downvotes. I got Green Bay on a downvote this week. They're allowing a 72.9% completion percentage on the year to opposing quarterbacks, which means they're not generating pressure. They're not locking receivers down. -3 in turnover differential, so they're on the wrong side of that. and they're 56-44 pass run right now. And I feel like their path to victory is to at least flop that, become more run balanced than pass balanced. I don't think Rodgers has the chemistry built in yet with his guys. Washington Commanders. They're oddly enough, they're doing just fine on defense, but they're bottom in the league as far as rush attempts, and they're unable to take over games. So these games when they are trailing a little or getting a lead, like they're just unable to take control of momentum. And I think
How
Ron
about
Rivera. Go ahead.
that's look, listen. I ain't even cut you off. I'm about to say, how about Ron Rivera throwing Carson Wentz on the bus this week?
Boy, I missed
That's
that
crazy.
completely. I just saw the apology. What happened?
So they asked him, they were straight out, they was like, when you look at the rest of the teams in the NFC East, like what's the difference? This man said the quarterback.
He ain't wrong. Why go back
Like,
on
bro,
that?
what? Nah, I'm
Why go
saying
back
like,
on
listen,
that?
bro, you talk about Cooper Rush and Daniel Jones, the difference. I can understand you talking about Hurts or whatever, but come on now. Um,
If that's
I
how
don't.
you
I mean, I
feel,
get it
own it.
though.
Own
He
it though.
apologized, but I think it was more context to this is first year with a team, new system. They're still trying to figure it out. So I think the media things, sticking around with it. But yeah, by all
I mean,
means, he said what he said though. So,
it's either him or it's either Wentz or Rivera, and Rivera better blame it on him because I think
I
Rivera's
think
on the
it's
hot seat.
yeah. I'm about to say Rivera. He know what he was doing. He was like,
It ain't me, bro. Check your boy. And the Colts just said the same shit. So did the Eagles. So who y'all gonna believe? Like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Switching over, I got the Chargers on a downvote, and my only note there is Keenan Allen's tweet saying, "What the fuck are we doing?" I don't know if you caught that during the game.
No, I caught it. I caught it.
Yeah, Brandon Staley, I think, is slowly losing this locker room, and I don't get it because it's such a talented team that they leave a lot to be desired. They finally have Eckler going, but I don't know. I'm just not into that team right now like I thought I would be.
He lucky. He lucky the defense held up. If not, that's all we'd be talking about this week right now. So luckily they won. Put it off.
And Keenan Allen to do that, like that says a lot, bro. From one of your veterans, literally to the coach on social media during a primetime game. Big red flag there. Switching over, I got the Raiders. I think Josh McDaniels is losing that locker room quickly. You got veterans pushing over cameramen, and Devontae better get suspended for that after Evans got suspended for shoving a dude. Like, Evans, it made sense to shove Lattimore. Like, y'all are beefing. You can do, like, that makes sense. But this poor little camera guy just trying to take pictures?
Hey,
we're shoving that guy? Come on, bro. Lastly, I'm sorry. I'm dragging this out. Lastly, I got the Panthers. I think they fired Matt Rule a little too soon. I know I previously mentioned last week that I think that the Panthers are an improved team under him, better than what they were. And I did hear on a different podcast today, the GM Shuffle, he was like, well, what did you want them to do? Take Fields instead of JC Horn? They'd be in the same situation with a worse defense. Maybe, maybe not. He's a Fields hater. So is there a point there? Maybe. But Matt Rule did all the things correctly. He trying to build up his defense, so he takes a JC Horn. But we don't even know if that was his decision. You get Sam Darnold, you draft, what was it, Corral? You trade for Baker, so you're throwing all these darts at the wall hoping something sticks. So he did his due diligence in trying, but there's only so many quarterbacks available on the market. I think they may come back to regret this decision. I don't know if things get better with him out of town the rest of the year. But that wraps up my downvotes.
All right, man. You know what's crazy? I want to stick right there. I don't think they overacted Real. You know what I mean? Just to start off with the Carolina Panthers there, man. As an owner, you've seen enough, man. Should they burn the whole thing down or should they not? But I just think, the first year it was improvements. But it's a what have you done for me lately league. They started off with 4-0, 5-0 last year. Didn't do anything the rest of the year. It looks terrible. This year it's not promising. It just seems like right now they have no direction. They don't have no identity. And the least you can do at this point, you can look right across the league at a team like the New York Giants, who has a fresh coach who's created a system that no matter, like you say, if you have a lesser quarterback, you still should be able to have these guys playing hard for you. And I just don't think right now it's not good. I believe it was a stat out there they just 1-31. And games is 7 or less points or whatever like that. I don't know. It's like once they down, and they don't come back. So I'm not mad at that. Burn it down.
Do you
Secondly, no, go ahead.
do you think Baker's a bust? Like the biggest bust in recent memory?
Oh, biggest bust.
Recent memory,
I
like
don't know. It's a lot
five to
of them,
10 years.
man. It's a lot of them. 5 to
He's on
10.
the Mount Rushmore of bust in the last
He's
10
up.
years.
He's up there. But
He's
I
terrible.
can't call him the biggest bust. The reason I say that is because Baker has had some good years. You know what I mean? It hasn't been completely terrible, but let's be fair. It hasn't looked good the last couple of years either. Bust, yes, biggest bust. I can't put him there just right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, Knicks downvote Las Vegas Raiders. Now blew another lead. This time up 17-0. It's crazy because truthfully, I fell asleep, woke back up, and you know what I mean, just kind of seeing how the game was materializing. They was up. Jacobs looked good. You know, all this talent wasted. I just don't get it. And like you said, Devontae, he's so pissed. He done went full Brock Lesnar on the stadium work. I think everybody frustrated. Like you say, Josh McDaniels, you know, he started off a little bit good in Denver. You know what I mean? He fizzled out, had the whole Tebow fiasco. He comes in. I really thought this time around things would be different. Hey, maybe it's just you, bro. Knicks, Detroit Lions, right? Now, I talked about what the Patriots did to them, but I just want to know, like, all the Lions finally falling back to earth. Like, they was putting up all these points. They was in every game. And then I looked back at it and I thought, like, bro, they're 1-4. So were they ever any good is my question. Like,
right.
Just to get your thoughts on that. You think the Lions was ever good, or was we were just hyping up something because we were so happy to see them finally competitive again?
No, I still think they're a year or two away from being competitive in the sense, like on the win-loss record. I think they can still partake in these games offensively. They have dudes on offense, but defensively they're a mess.
Yeah.
But I think Belichick just knows how to beat Goff. If you can force him into a drop back pass game, it's game over. But if he can get the play action rolling, he can do his thing. So
yeah.
no,
y'all, hey, they got shut out. If you get shut out, like, hey, you're gonna be here. You're gonna be here every week. But yeah, that's definitely a downvote for them, man, this week. I want to speak on another team in the AFC West division, the Denver Broncos, man. Listen, it seems like I'm talking about these guys every week.
I'm tired of them.
Even when they was on the winning side of things, it still didn't look good. And then, this week, the team it looked all out of sync, man. Russell Wilson, he's banged up. I just feel like the coach, he's in over his head right now. Terrible decision-making. The game management don't look good. It just looked like they don't know whether they're coming and going or what they need to do, like drive in and drive out, man. Do they want to let Russ cook? What do they want to do? I don't know. You know what I mean? And even if you try to cook, man, sometimes it like the oven off. So I don't know, man. They definitely got some things they need to figure out over there. And, going into this thing, we all was hyping this thing up. We thought they was one of the better teams in the league. Not me per se. I thought, they was a little overhyped, but I didn't think they would look quite like this. So whatever, man. He might be on the hot seat too if he don't step it up, man.
Who is that?
And Knicks, the last team, no, Hackett. He looked lost to me, man. Yeah. Sure. He got to figure it out. The last team, Pittsburgh Steelers. Team sucks. You
were all over that -14 too, bro.
Yeah, I told you. I told you it was gonna be a beatdown. I'm like, you like 14? They can't cover 4. I'm like, bro, no, they're gonna. Mama, I said alternative points or 30 points, bro. Who would have hit that?
Yeah, sure. you did call that. I was too scared. You were all over that.
But one thing I take away from this, I would say, even though it was a blowout, Pickett, he does look promising. Pickens, he does look promising. So maybe, for the future, this is a team that has a young connection that maybe can go together in the future. Right now, and they got a lot to work out. And sadly to say, it just won't happen this year. Tough division. You know what I mean? No offensive line. Defense, you lost a TJ Watt. So, I don't know. Maybe just let the guy rest the whole year. I don't even know if it's worth it to bring him back at this point. But that's my downvotes for the week.
Before we switch over to our top 10, I wanted to ask you a quick question because it almost seems like Belichick misses McDaniels and McDaniels misses Belichick. Like, I think those two need each other for success. If you had to put $100 on those two reuniting in New England, doesn't have to be this season or next, but before Bill's time is up, do you think they reunite?
Oh, I got 100 on that for sure.
Agreed.
You
Agreed.
know,
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much patience for this Raiders
nah.
team as far as that coaching
I don't
position.
think, obviously not this year. I think most offense coordinators, depending on how bad it goes, not offense coordinators, but head coaches first year, you will at least get another year or, maybe two, depending on the ownership to get
Right.
your guys in there, completely kind of like just mold them to what you want them to look like in another year, another system, just to see how it looks like. But next year, if they start off the same way and they're not where they're supposed to be, same for Josh McDaniels, both of them, they'll be out of their position soon. So yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
I think if Mark Davis was smart, and I don't mean to turn this into a Raider segment, he'd get Jack Del Rio back in there, try to convince him to come back. He was the last coach
Well,
they had success with.
Rich Bisaccia had them boys playing for him, man. Sometimes all change ain't good.
True. And he's probably going to get fired from Green Bay because that special teams looks awful. Switching over to my top 10 updated power rankings, Kansas City moves up 3 spots to 1. Mahomes looks like a man on a mission. Buffalo down a spot, but these two do play each other in the middle window on Sunday, so we do get to figure out who the top dog in the NFL is here in a couple days. Down 1 spot is the Eagles. Up 4 spots, I've got the Dallas Cowboys up at number 4, and we get to find out what NFC East really looks like after Sunday night. Up 4 spots to number 5 is Minnesota. They finally got Dalvin Cook cooking. That's their path to victory. Get your best players the ball. Baltimore pushed. They stay at 6. Tough win over a poorly coached Bengals team, but Lamar's accuracy was all over the place. How much of that game did you catch, bro?
I did catch a lot of it, man. But Lamar, he seems to have games like this. You just hope, when it matters most, he steps up. But yeah, for them to only put up 19 points,
right?
Whatever. They won the ball game though. But yeah, it didn't look all too well from what I was saying.
I agree. At number 7, making their debut for the first time, I got the New York Giants. This is an amazing, This is an amazing coaching staff with a horrible roster. In cap hell. And the only thing I can think, my only note here is imagine what the score of the game would have been if LaFleur was coaching the Giants and Daboll's crew was coaching the Packers. Daboll's crew would have blown out LaFleur's crew. The Packers have a much better roster than the Giants and still lost. So I think something's brewing in New York, but I think it's at least a year or two away. But I can see them squeaking out a wild card. Number 8, I got San Francisco. They returned back to my top 10. Dominant win against a crumbling Carolina team. Number 9, Tennessee Titans make their debut. Horrible on defense, but seem to have Henry going. They're going to play some boring football, try to control the clock, but they just got to keep your offense off the field and make sure they score points. That's their remedy to success. And Miami falls 7 spots to 10. I kept them in my top 10 because of where they were. And they're injury riddled. I don't want to kick them out just yet. And we don't have to bail. I feel like Mike McDaniels, has the opportunity to show off his coaching skills this week with the 3rd string quarterback, assuming Teddy doesn't go or Tua. And we've seen it before. Kyle Shanahan win with Mullins, Beathard, those kind of guys. So maybe there is a little bit of dog there, and that translates over from coming from Kyle Shanahan. But that rounds out my top 10.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Hey, if you want to know, I gave him the boot. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, you gonna have to show me again. Whatever happened, I forgot. You gonna have to prove it to me all over, man.
I'm down to boot him after this week. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt this week.
I feel it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Just to start off, man, Kansas City Chiefs, just same from last week. I ain't got to say a lot, man. Beast of a team, complete team, man. They're gonna stay right here. Second team, Buffalo Bills, they're gonna stay where they are. Not a lot to say about those guys either, man. Complete beatdown, but listen, we all expected that. At the 3 spot, Philadelphia Eagles, I also have them there. You know what I mean? Just one of the top teams in this league, and they're going to be there as well, man. So my top 3 stays the same. At the 4th spot, I got the Dallas Cowboys moving up from the 6th spot, man. I just think this is almost a complete ball club, obviously, when Dak comes back, man. But the defense, man. Not a lot you can say about that group, man. They is fierce and they beast over there, man. At the 5 spot, I have the San Francisco 49ers actually moving up 5 spots from the 10th spot. I just think, look, man, it looks good. I had the Minnesota Vikings at the 6th spot, and I was kind of sitting there thinking about these two teams, right? And my line of thinking was, yes, I felt like Minnesota has maybe done more up until this point. But then I felt like, hey, if they was to line up next Sunday, I just feel like San Fran would kick their ass.
Dude, San Francisco's
Just
defense is good.
yeah, I felt like they would just make life brutal for Kirk Cousins over there right now. So that's kind of was my line of thinking going into it. I just think San Fran at 5, and now Minnesota also up 3 spots, slotting in there at 6. Now the Green Bay Packers, I've moved them down to the 7 spot, down 3 spots. Now I still think it's a good team, but it's a lot of things they got to work out. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been saying it all week long. Even weeks prior, where I felt like it's a good team. They don't have it figured out. They still figuring out. They've been able to win, and but lately, look, they was able to get up on the Giants a little bit, let them rally, and end up in a loss. But I still think they deserve to be here. At the 8th spot, Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, even though they won, I still had to move them down 1 spot just because the way that they look. You know what I mean? The product, I just kind of just tuned into that game. It didn't look good. And then outside of that bullshit call, man, I think the league will definitely have to look at it. Hopefully it's not a reoccurring theme where, the Brady thing and things like that, something I don't want to see
It
moving
happened
forward.
again
But I
Sunday
feel
night
like,
or
you
Monday
know what I
night.
mean? So it sucks, man. You don't want to see that in prime time. You know what I mean? Was it Brady? I don't know. But I think in general, man, Atlanta played a good ball game. They could have beat them. And just because of that, even though they won, I'm gonna still move them down 1. At 9, I have the Baltimore Ravens making a reappearance now. Even though the defense is terrible, the offense, the team, I think, they still beat a good Bengals team. I think the Bengals team is finally finding their footing. But I think Baltimore is a good ball club. And if they could figure it out, I really think this can be one of the better teams in the league. So they here, and I think they kind of fall in line with the Packers where they just got some figuring out to do. But I think they'll be here. And number 10, look, first appearance, I'm right here with you, man. I got to put the New York Giants here, man. They're a 4-1 ball club. And I'm a firm believer of giving teams their respect, and I just feel like they deserve it. They deserve it, man. They showed up big. You know what I mean? They play Aaron Rodgers down to a fault. The defense looks good. Saquon is making plays. Look, Daniel Jones goes out. He's taking wildcat snaps. They're doing whatever they got to do to make points. They playing hard for him, and a team like that, a feisty team, they just find ways to win. Can't say enough about it, man. So that'll go ahead and round on my power ranks for this week.